This is www.nam-radio.com.
Hello, I'm Syrano and I'm from France. I'm from the center of France, exactly a city called Orléans. As long as I remember, I'm making music. Since I was a kid, when I was 7 or 8, I started playing on keyboards and creating music instantly. I really thought that it was something that I wanted to do for a living. So I'm actually working on my seventh album, and I have released 2 other albums for kids. So at this point, I've made 8 albums, and I'm working on the ninth. Wow, I'm old. This last release called Balayer is actually influenced by African music, mainly the mix between the African music and what we have in France. So electronic music, rap music, it's really a mix of cultures. I grew up in a place where all the cultures were mixed. I grew up with African people, with Asian people, and everything is mixed in my culture. That's what I really love about hip hop. It's a mix of culture. I really think that it's never an end, that you always have to research and try hard, really work hard to complete your way, your path. It's important to continue to try to innovate in music. And in the music industry, to be precise, it's in 2003 when I started to mix my rap music with real instruments, actually organic instruments. I added violins, guitars, accordions, and instantly it made me a bit more famous, more interesting for the industry. But it's never one. You have to prove every time you make a new album, every time you make a new release, you have to prove that you're actually better than before. The current state of mind in the industry is pretty new. That's interesting because nobody really knows exactly where it goes. We know that rap music is the music who is selling the most, but it's never sure. And I like the fact that everything is changing, is moving. You need now to have images, to have an image and videos, and it's interesting to have a graphic dimension to your music. It's adding something, and more people are actually consuming music for one song, one album, and nothing more. But it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's really interesting, and it's forcing yourself as an artist to be better each time. That's a really hard question to know who is a really influential artist, because it can change each month now with the new ways of communication and in the internet. I really like the work of Post Malone. Really, I find it really interesting, and he's taking risks. That's what I like. But what I can feel is really that the most influential artists are the ones who are actually mixing different kinds of music or making fusions. If you stay really inside of a clan, inside of a type of music, you don't really innovate, you don't really invent anything. Mostly I've collaborated with French artists, of course. So famous bands in France like Trio or La Rue Quétanou or Massilia Sound System. But they are actually traditional French singers or French reggae music bands, not really the type of music that I'm doing. It's more human. It's a human collaboration at first for me. When I meet someone, I don't care of the type of music they're doing. I really feel that the music is a way of communicate. If it's a way of communication, it needs to be human before the collaboration as a business affair. It's really hard to know what can make me different from others. It can be a pretentious answer, but I think I think after a few years now that the mix that I'm doing is different from the others. I'm doing rap music, and when I'm rapping, I'm actually really rapping. I'm not just a guy from another kind of music coming to rap and trying to. No, I've grown in it. I grew up in rap music, but also I grew up in my French culture and in the French heritage legacy of literature and poetry. And I really think that my music is a mix between rap music and poetry and the traditional songwriting in French. It's really that. I think it's important in my creation. Wow. I think there are tons of artists I would like to collaborate with, but I really like James Brown, Janis Joplin, Aretha Franklin. I don't know, perhaps now living, still alive, perhaps Eminem or people like this. I grew up in a poor family, and actually we were a lot of kids, and we didn't have much money to buy music. So the first record I bought was a little best of Aretha Franklin. And that's why I was mentioning her. It really blew my mind up. I really loved her, and I really loved her music, her voice, and the atmosphere of the songs. The soul music is really something that touched me a lot. And yeah, my first record, the first, it was a tape. It was a tape at this time. The first tape about was a tape of Aretha Franklin. I must say that these days I'm listening a lot to an American artist coming from Africa called J.S. Andara. And I love his voice, and I love one of his song of his last album called Tales of America. The song is called "Saying Goodbye," and I really love that song. Actually, since I'm a kid, I'm drawing a lot. I have really thought during a time that I could live out of my drawings and paintings. The life decided for me that I was going to live out of my music, but sincerely, I have a lot of fun painting and drawing. Um, my last album, the sixth one, is actually a comic book where I painted and drew all the pictures in it, and I have put the lyrics inside of the bubbles. I really just think that creation is magical because you can have different forms, different inspirations, or actually it's perhaps the same inspirations but taking different forms. Yeah, that's it. I really like drawing, perhaps as much as I write or play music. Yeah, so about this new project, since 2 or 3 years, I'm working on new songs. And actually, these new songs, I wanted them to be more, how to say that, mainstream perhaps, or perhaps that people could listen to them more easily than my songs before because they were too long or they were written with too much complicated words. I wanted it to be simple but still well written with pretty metaphors and images. I wanted it to be interesting and and something musically that can move your body. You know what I mean? So it's really a mix between rap music, modern rap music, and traditional French songwriting. It's a real bridge between these two cultures that I love, that made me. And in the pipeline after this project, of course, it's to go on tour, because that's my DNA, to go on stage and try to propose my songs to people. The relation that I have with the public that follows me in France is really incredible, and I have always lived for that. Music is an exchange, is something that you need to share on stage directly with people. It's alive. So I really like to perform and to go on stage. That's the goal, actually, of all of my songs. Actually, the listeners can find me on the internet pretty easily, typing my name, Syrano, Syrano. There is a website, an official website, cyrano.net, net, and you can find me on all kind of social networks, the main ones: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of them are of the same name for me. It's Syrano Officiel.
NAM-radio.com, streaming 24/7.